also, so that's interesting reflection from that. I personally administer the oath of office for newly elected Board of Trustees. Certified staff roster. Shoto, I registered 36. The year before it was 34. Fairfield 32. The year before it was 33. Power was the same at 19. Dutton Brady this year, or this past year, was 24. The year before was 21. Golden Ridge and New Rockport is still the same at 4. Bynum Miller went down to 1 teacher. Pendray was at 1 and Greenfield remained at 9. I have the staff handbooks and the student handbooks that we hand out every fall when we start school. Those are online. Those are given to each of my rural schools. The larger schools have their own handbooks that they do. Clerk meetings, we do have monthly clerk meetings. I went from 5 clerks 2 years ago. I now have 8 clerks, and that was due to the ESSER overload. So our federal government, because we were given money to help compensate for the pandemic, the requirements of our collection of the data and information got to be a little overwhelming for our clerks, so we hired new clerks on. Some of my clerks have 2 school districts, but they went down and just doing single ones now. So I was able to, we did Zoom meetings for our county superintendents, our Montana Association. We did Zoom meetings throughout the year. I attended Zoom or in person for IEPs. I am the administrator for our small rural schools that I attend if there are students that we have individual education plans for. I sit on those meetings of a team that we figure out a plan that will help that student academically and socially, emotionally to move through positively in our school system. And we review our policies yearly. We also continue to review during the pandemic, we had emergency policies that overrode our regular policies. And now during the course of that, we've altered or updated that as we go through. For example, the most recent one is masks are no longer mandated on our school buses. And so we were able to look into our emergency policies and address that and be able to update those. I attended 4 school Christmas programs in 2021 and 2020. During the course of that time, we had 0. I attended parent meetings and staff meetings during the course of the school year, helping teachers address student issues of ways to get them back on track. It was at 0. I did Zoom meetings at that time, but we were able to meet and have social distancing and everything, so I was able to participate in those. We do testing requirements in our county, and I am the testing coordinator for that. But I also, because you have to have a certified staff that is available to give those, and so I had to do that. There should not be any other changes, just your other requirements that are normally every year by the state. And so those are like the teams reports. That is that we are meeting all the accreditation standards of the state. So we have to send in a report. The clerks and school clerks and I usually do that. I am responsible for the title programs. That comes from the federal government. That helps the needs and the academic needs of our students. And so I'm the one that works, and if we have any amendments on that. The COVID requirements that have come in from the pandemic. So I wrote and I continually update our requirements called Safe Return to School and the continuity of the service plan. That has to be updated at least every 6 months. until 2023 or 2024, or until the pandemic, they feel it has come to an end per se, or that it's the new norm, become the new norm. Also a federal mandate of, it's called the American Rescue Plan Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund. That continues on until the year 2024 with continued updates. And then I also update all of the monies that were given to us by the federal government to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus. I registered 42 homeschools, which is 24% decrease over the previous year. And the total number of students enrolled in our public and home schools decreased about 1.7% entirely in our county. In 2020, we had 1,156 students, and last year we had 1,136. So the total amounts total school decreased. They're at 348 this last year. They were at 359 the previous year. Fairfield School at 328 was 313 the year before. Power schools were at 124. They were at 129 the previous year. Dutton Brady School was at 137. It was at 125 the previous year. Greenfield School went from 78 last year. They were at 102 the year before. Bynum Miller stayed relatively the same. It went from 20, it's at 23 last year. It was at 22 the year before. Golden Ridge was at 45. It was 41 the year before. It increased 4. And Pentroy was at 11. It was at 12 the previous year. Some of the decrease that you see was strictly because of our adhering to the safety of our students and addressing the issue of the coronavirus. So I would like to take this opportunity and thank the commissioners for their support in the capacity that I've held for the past 2 terms. And I am anxious to pass that torch over to someone who I feel is very competent and capable of filling those shoes, and in fact bringing lots of energy and excitement to my position. I believe that the rural schools that we have in this county very much represent the academic quality that our state is held accountable for. We do a great job along with all of our schools in addition to that in our county, and thank you for the continued support. Do you have any questions?
We certainly appreciate the job you do.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You. That's because when the public comes in, they have to support me. Say, we don't know what she's doing over there, but we'll find out.
No.
So, any questions? Anyone else?
Can you email me that?
Oh,
so I can
yes.
Put it in the minutes.
Okay.
Any questions for Cathy?
Yeah. That's a lot.
Okay,
Sorry.
commission reports.
You can come into my office at any time, any questions that you have.
Did
Okay.
we,
Thank you.
do you want to put that update on the flood deal in our report, or wait till next meeting?
The fact that we're taking comment on the floodplain.
No, the rules that we have to insert in the new.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess.
we can do that.
Danny, just as a comment, Danny's working on bringing the floodplain rules up to the state code, and it hasn't been done for a while, but she's working on that, and when we get close to adopting those, that'll be at a meeting in the future, but we are working on that. Any other commission reports?
No, I don't think so.
It feels like spring.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I guess the South Fork Bridge, Alan's out on medical leave this week, and Curtis is not going to be back till the 17th, so there's no updates on the South Fork Bridge. There's quite an article that you covered it pretty well. Thank you for that.
Good. I wasn't there, as you know, but
Yeah, no, it was good. You
Nancy
did a good
did a good
article.
job.
Nancy is pretty familiar with that topic, so
Yeah,
I was grateful that she could step in and do that.
yeah, that was good. So public comment. Do you have any public comment?
May I please address, I understand this is a past meeting. It just has been on my mind, and I've mentioned it to other people. It was the meeting that we attended at least 2 months ago, I think. It was on road encroachments, but what was brought up was the tree trimming around the county building. And from what I remember, the amount was very expensive. It's just been on my mind, so I would like to request, if it's possible, bids for the tree trimming. Is this something that's just too late to ask?
No, it's
I'll just go down.
It's never too late to ask. What we
Okay.
did, we went out for bids, and Brian Hagee was the low bidder. And it was expensive, but there was, 25, 27 trees?
Mm-hmm.
The cost per tree was very reasonable. And I think that he
He did a very nice job.
did a nice job, and he made a pretty good deal for us because he is a county resident, and he made the comment that he feels that those are his trees, so he
I'll
wanted to
just
do a
write
good
down,
job.
his name was Brian.
Brian Hagee. Heagy.
Circle B Saw and
Yeah.
Tree was his company.
Circle B. This is
And if
company.
I remember, he was the only bidder.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Did not, no one else chose to bid it.
But literally, I think the cost was less than $500 a tree, and if
Yeah.
a private person tried to contract a tree trimmer to do it for $500 a tree, there's no way that they would do that.
The total cost was it $9?
Nine,
9,900.
yeah, 9,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt that we got a pretty good deal
What,
from
what
it.
was the total cost?
I think it was
9,900.
9,900.
Okay, we were.
Okay.
But for the number of trees, I was very pleased.
That's very, very good.
Yeah. And he also said that if something happened, he would come back and fix it. And in the past, I think he's one of the few tree trimmers in the county, and in the past, he's just seen stuff and come by and done it for free, which has nothing to do with the bids, but he's treated the county very well over the years, so. we
And
were
since it's
pleased.
been done, the windstorms that we've had, he or a couple of his guys have stopped several times and picked up branches that have blown off, and so
Yeah,
it
like
keeps it looking
three
pretty
weeks
good.
after the job, they were still coming by and grabbing.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were here
So-
just the other day and grabbed
Yeah.
some out here, so.
Well, they look good. I was just noticing the work that he'd done, actually paying attention to it. They took a lot of dead growth out of those little
Yeah.
trees.
Oh yeah.
And it probably kept some of them from going down or topping them because of those
Right.
winds that we had. They barely even wavered, they just blew
Mhm.
through, so.
And he also gave us a recommendation. He felt that if we want to keep those trees through their entire life, that we're gonna have to literally take hoses out and flood the base of the trees. That hasn't been being done in the past, and he's gonna fertilize them this spring. I mean, he's very proud of the county, and he wanted to do a good job, so I was really pleased with the work that he
Pretty
did.
complete. And the other thing that we're considering is where there's trees been taken out, that we'll replace those, but we gotta stagger them, so we gotta figure out how the plan will be for that. Cause some of these trees are pretty old.
They are.
Yeah, so our plan is to add a few trees at a time, so when the age of the old growth trees is over, then we'll never go without trees around the courthouse. We don't want it to look plain, because I think they really add to the courthouse.
Yeah,
So
I-
we're gonna start adding a tree or two a year and
Well,
try to phase it in,
They won't all be the same age at the same time.
Right, yeah,
which will be a plus.
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Thank
So
you.
did we answer your questions?
Thank you very much.
You bet.
And yet, you're welcome to come anytime during a meeting and ask us anything. There's no requirements. It's public comment, and we appreciate the comments that we do get, so
Thank you.
thank you
Right,
for
thank
coming. Okay, any further public comment? Public notices, next meeting, April 17th,
Joe, I might just throw out there that the Shoto Wild Wings Bird Migration Celebration is the 25th, 26th, and 27th. So if you're traveling between Shoto and Fairfield at that time and you're going past the Freeze-Out Wildlife Management Area, there are probably going to be lots of vehicles and lots of people there. So just from a traveling standpoint, they'll have signs put up on either end of that stretch of the highway that says event ahead, kind of, and they're working with the State Highway Department as well, but that festival is scheduled and going ahead now for the second time in 4 years because the last 2 years were canceled.
Yeah, we went to the first one.
Yeah, it's very nice with activities up at the Stage Stop Inn. They're all free and open to the public. And,
So it's a Friday night like last time?
There's a speaker Friday night, and I think it's going to be Fish, Wildlife, and Parks wildlife biologist Brent Warner, and a kind of a meet and greet. And then on Saturday at 1 o'clock, there's a professor of biology from Montana Tech who's going to come and talk about the Berkeley Pit and migratory birds. And that's free as well. And then later on in the evening on that Saturday is the Old Trail Museum Wild Game Feed, which again is free. And then there'll be an auction and a silent auction that the proceeds support the museum from that. But they kind of wrap those two events together. And they'll have guided tours every morning at like 6:30 out at the ponds.
Yeah, it was really nice to see what the state's gonna do with the parking in that area.
Yes,
They're gonna have
isn't
angle
it?
parking and 2 or
Yeah.
3 paved parking lots to alleviate that problem,
Yeah.
but it is a annual concern.
Well, twice a year even, if we get fall migration
Yeah.
folks too. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're starting to show up. There's quite a few fields
Mhm.
this morning, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of them never left.
Well, that's
No,
good.
but the
snow
snow geese
geese
are-
are coming.
Yeah, there's
Yesterday,
a
they
pile of them
counted
yesterday.
112 bald eagles
Yeah.
out there, who are of course thinking of the geese as a smorgasbord.
Mhm.
And so,
Well,
They've been here for about 2 weeks, the eagles have.
Yeah, we've seen them out there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, any other further public comment? All right, our next meeting is April 7th, and we are adjourned. Thank you
Thanks for
for coming.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.